Let's go. Welcome to a bonus part of podcast episode, Coffee with Jacek and Robert. Hello.
Hey, hello.
Hey guys.
Over the cup of coffee, we will get to know our guest a bit more from the personal side and who they are, what they enjoy, the stories, and how they found themselves where they are today, both professionally and personally. Jacek, how has your experience with the on-premise Hadoop shaped your approach to cloud solution in AWS?
Maybe a quick beginning. I was actually in RBI with Hadoop on-premise. We had first data lakes, so it was a quite of experience, a lot of challenges, and quite advanced platform, which we did full setup, full configuration, and a lot of lessons learned. So it gave me a quite nice path to go through later on to the cloud. And right now, more or less, AWS is ruling the world.
The apex word, I would say.
Yeah, apex.
It's kind of controversial
yes.
statement.
Yes, basically, as maybe to mention, Apex is using AWS, but together with Databricks, it's hand in hand. So yes.
Good, thank you.
Okay, Robert, how did your interest in watchmaking influence your approach to software engineer in DevOps or DevOps?
Well, both are engineering, I would say. So it teaches me patience because I'm used to being a little messy engineer, I would say. So being forced to be a little bit more patient with the assembly, I would say makes me a little bit less messy with the actual engineering job.
So what I understand is that engineering, I mean IT was first. Then
Yes, IT was first. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Jacek, what's your favorite mountain hiking memory, and do you find any parallels between hiking and managing complex data platforms?
Oh, I love hiking, but one of the most memorable is called place called Zawrat in Tatra Mountains, which can be really tricky and dangerous because if you don't have, if you're not prepared, and there's a lot of chains, and you can basically have a quick fall down and quick trip down, basically like an elevator. And that gave me a bit of excitement. But how it's, I think hiking gives you adrenaline, but also you have to have perseverance to move forward because it's very tiring. So until you reach the top, it's like in the projects in IT, the beginnings are soft, but then until you get to the finish, it can be quite exhausting. But once you reach the top, then that's a nice success, meaning you walk down the hiking from the mountain. Yeah, so I would compare it this way.
What inspired you to learn Japanese?
Honestly, there is not one reason, I would say. Learning language always expands your ability to understand things because you are going outside of your comfort zone, I would say, with the very private thing, which is thinking, basically. It's installing another type of inner voice, which is actually kind of interesting. And why I always liked Japanese culture, but the main motivation was that it's so different from the actual Latin language that it could really benefit my way of thinking. Basically.
And has it ever helped you in your professional life?
In professional life, interesting question. I would say no directly, Maybe with some data processing, I remember there was problem with kanji, for example, and catching that kind of helps. Understanding that it's standard problem with the transcription in the encoding helped me a little. But in general, I would say this another mode of thinking is kind of helping me with widening of horizon when I'm searching for the solutions and another way of approaching the solution, the problem, actually.
Mm-hmm. Cool, thanks.
Jacek, which science fiction audiobook has influenced your thinking about technology or automation the most?
Actually, I'm listening to one quite often, actually multiple times. It's called Expeditionary Force. It's basically a sci-fi story mixed with a bit of military. But what's cool about it, it shows you how technology can evolve, what could be the future, and how things that are very obvious can be brought together and in a mix, and out of it you can make something really valuable, which I think in our work sometimes you really need to think out of the box to achieve the success, and even if some people say it's impossible, we can sit down and get it done. So I think that's what we take it from it.
I will ask you more about it later on.
Sure.
Robert, you've worked with embedded systems and AI. What's the most surprising connection you found between those fields and big data?
I would say surprisingly, like the embedded processing, and especially one of my first jobs was actually in the research and development department. So we are creating actually the measurement and control system, which required actually gathering extensive amount of data. And what's surprising is that actually the IT understanding of the big data and the automotive solutions for the test chambers, for example, are surprisingly similar. It's absolutely different technology, but for example, from my perspective, when I switched, I was really afraid when during switching from one business to another. But what was the most surprising for me was how similar these were actually in the concept. So for me, asynchronous processing was kind of second nature, I would say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jacek, how do you bring your passion for process optimization in your daily work with DevOps and data teams?
My passion, I think, my personality is that I'm very open and I like to bring people together. So by this, cooperating for me is something natural that comes easy to me. So when we need to either figure out provide a solution for a particular issue, I bring guys together, we brainstorm, and sometimes we almost pull our hair out, but in the end, this is how I do it, and I actually like it, and so for me it's not that difficult. Yeah.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Robert, how do you balance the precision needed in watchmaking with the fast-paced world of cloud engineering?
I would say actually that both require precision, and for the very similar reason, I would say. Because the main difficulty with the watchmaking is not the actual process. Of course, it is challenging and requires some skill, but the problem with the mistake is the same as mistake with the cloud costs.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if you're operating on a very expensive watch, it's the same usually in the design of the mechanism. So there are no surprises usually, but the additional costs that is tied to the actual watch is the difficulty. And with cloud is the same. You need to be precise. You need to know what you're actually changing. So sometimes it's not about developing that much of the code, but knowing what you are actually adding to the code base and what you are changing, because the mistakes are usually very costly.
Mm-hmm.
Jacek, can you share a moment when collaboration between service management and engineering made a big difference in a project?
Collaboration usually makes a big difference. I think in particular situations when, for example, a project comes to us with a specific case and let's say they are stuck, and then collaboration is required between multiple teams, either it's engineering or could be networking, security colleagues, and then essential is to exchange communication so it's efficient and smooth, and by this we get the solution quicker, right? But sometimes it can be very, let's say, bumpy. We call it a bumpy ride, and so in the end, sometimes it's really hard, but in the end we get it done. So.
Mm. Robert, is there a particular project at Raiffeisen Tech that felt like a perfect match for your diverse technical background?
Well, Apex, of course. Yeah, but in all seriousness, yes, it was my first and only project so far, and it was specifically, it's perfect match, I would say, because I wanted to do as much as possible with the cloud, to understand cloud with the actual making something on the cloud, and what could be better than creating platform in this context, right? Because you are touching both the end user experience to some degree, and at the same time really underlying cloud platform that on which it is based on, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Jacek, what's one hobby or interest outside of the work that unexpectedly help you solve work challenges?
Hobby. I'm thinking about basically, like I mentioned, 3D printing. It's quite something for me. I had to learn from the scratch, and it helps a lot when you don't get into something new and you totally don't know where to begin, why something works, something doesn't work, and it could be reflected in our work as well, as we are dealing constantly with new features, new technologies. For example, AI right now, as you know, there's a huge hype for AI, and for some of us it can be tricky, but like this mythical animal, you get to the bone and figure it out, and after some time passes, we get it done. We know how it works, and we know how to put the things together, and then something happens, something magical.
Great story.
Mm-hmm. Robert, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, career advice, what would it be?
Take it easy. I think it's kind of the most important one, because overdoing is not really doing anything actually, and it's quite often counterproductive. So it's better to take it easy, slowly, think a little bit, spend some time thinking about what you would like to do instead of just running in the circle like a hamster.
Wise.
Wise, definitely. Jacek, how do you unwind after a particularly intense day working on Apex?
We say Apex.
It's controversial.
It's controversial, but analytics platform experience, because we all the time say the word, but I don't know if everybody knows. And how I unwind? I like to jog, and it gives me, let's say, sweat the stress out, But on the weekends I also do swimming, and I've got my own trainer who basically pushes me, and he knows when I'm lazy. So he says that you didn't practice last week, right? I'm like, yeah, I see. So yes, I have my own ways of dealing with my let's say laziness and people that kick my behind.
Good to have such persons.
Motivation.
Yeah, exactly.
Robert, what is a fun fact about you that your colleagues may not know or wouldn't guess?
Fun fact that they do not know about me. Well, I'm kind of big nerd, I would say. I love tabletop RPGs. I loved being game master, basically, create my own scenarios. They are usually pretty short, but kind of dedicated. So I would not say that I have fan base, but I have I have a group of players that really like to play with me. So they really enjoy my scenarios. So
Okay, nice.
The last one, Jacek, how do your personal passion influence your vision of the future of data product in Raiffeisen Tech?
My passion, I think, by being energetic and being open, I think the future, there are huge possibilities. I think by I don't know being like this kind of mentality, because there's a lot of information coming right now, which let's say to be current on everything it's really difficult, and especially with AI, as it basically changes. The story changes day by day, but I think is key is not to get overwhelmed and just give yourself space, and of course I'm very optimistic about the future, and I don't think that Terminator will come and get us pretty soon.
Positive at the end.
Yes, cherry on top. Good. So that was Coffee with Robert and Jacek. Thank you very much.
thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.